Test.
And now for the starting lineup for the Jayhawks. Number 1, Jalen Edwards.
Whoa. Like that.
Number 2, Kyle Combs.
All right, folks, welcome to this Western Mass Class D Championship game. Duggan Academy Jayhawks versus the Pioneer Panthers. My name is Tyler Borba, bringing the play-by-play action of this game. With me is Alex Sabin. Alex, thank you so much for coming down here to Holyoke Community College for this game.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Tyler.
Real excited for this, and Pioneer starts off strong. Goes inside, ball gets fumbled. Duggan comes out with it. Pioneer coming into this game, the only team to put an L on an otherwise unblemished record for the Jayhawks.
Yeah, it was a great win for Pioneer last game. They were down 11-1, but fought their way back and stole all the momentum from Duggan and kind of made it their game as they won on a 68-33 run. going to be interesting how this Duggan team, after that disappointing game they had when they last played.
Well, it's going to be very, very interesting. Pioneer having a lot to prove. No shot, but Pioneer hangs on to the ball. They'll get another try with a new shot.
Yeah, offensive rebounds is going to be key for this game. We saw Jack Glazier had a lot of offensive rebounds the last time these played, and that was the major difference as Pioneer had a lot of second chance opportunities. Pioneer's really going to need that today.
3-shot off the rim, comes down into the hands of Miranda, throws it back out. Jayhawks hang on to the ball. They look to reset. Shot from the outside, off the front of the rim, still hanging on to it. Jayhawks taking their time, trying to find a weakness to get in there. On the outside, Isaiah Rodriguez, no good. Still a scoreless game. McClellan takes a hard tumble, but gets the foul.
That was a good look there by McClellan. Found the opening and rushed to the opening, and the Jayhawk defense was too late there and caused the foul. Going to be 2 shots here for Alex McClellan.
And you know, there's always something to say about playing in a court that is relatively unfamiliar. McClellan with the second free throw shot, draws first blood. Rodriguez on the far side comes back up top. Trying to find a way in, feeds the ball over to Matt Smith, comes back out to Kyle Coombs. Apologize, that wasn't Matt Smith, that was Jalen Edwards. Still learning the roster.
You're good, Tyler.
Hey, gotta learn it on the fly. There were 2 previous games here, so not a lot of time to set up. Ben Werner with a 3-point shot. Can't help but say Pioneer has been looking to give Werner an opportunity like that all season long.
Hey, Werner did a good job there. He shot with confidence, took his shot, and drained it with ease.
That was Jason Delude. Redeker going in for 2 and puts it down. Redeker picking up where we left off. Is 4 points away. 4 points away from scoring 1,000 points.
But more importantly, he extends the Pioneer lead to 6.
Oh, you're
Pioneer's
absolutely
having
right.
a great start so far.
1,000 points is a great milestone to have. But what's going to be an even greater milestone is continuing this perfect season Pioneer has brewing.
A Western Mass Championship would look lovely on his resume, Tyler.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thayer driving in, feeds it to the outside for Jack Glazier. Jack Glazier going up for a pass, not a shot, so the foul will take it on the baseline. Back outside to Werner. Werner looking to feed it over to Thayer, but gets interrupted by the Jayhawks. Jayhawks give it down to the corner to Miranda. And back out to Coombs. Over to Rodriguez. Rodriguez with a deep 3. Ball pops up, no one has possession, goes back to Miranda for a 3. Bounces off the rim and recovered by McClellan. Redeker drives on the baseline, puts the ball up, can't get the roll right, but gets his own rebound. Looks like a holding foul on the Jayhawks. Out to Redeker in the corner, up top to Werner. Then back to Redeker. Pioneer analyzing the defense. Looking to find a way through. Rodriguez gets some fingers on it, causes some chaos. Ball comes loose. Miranda's got it. Jayhawks drive, and Miranda puts the ball up sideways, no foul.
Pioneer got lucky on that one. But
Jack Glazer goes up all ball. And another shot, no good.
It's been a fast-paced game so far, Tyler. I expect a lot of mistakes here coming early in the game.
Up top is Jalen Edwards. Edwards to Delude, then to Miranda. Miranda trying to find a hole. Almost gets through it and almost gets his own rebound, but Pioneer comes up with the ball. And some heavy defense. Miranda snags it and makes sure that ball goes down.
Pioneer's got to do a better job at limiting the turnovers here. There's already 2 quick turnovers. We saw last game, Tyler, they had a lot of turnovers when trying to get the ball over half court. They can't let that happen again, as Duggan could get right back in this game.
Especially the way Duggan plays. They're a very, very aggressive team. And like usual, my clock is off. And Duggan, of course, last year, the big upset for Pioneer during Western Mass. And so even though they had a regular season game, this feels like the official rematch. Shot for 3, off the back of the rim, picked up by Will Glazier.
Thayer with it in the corner. Drives in, spin move, gets it to go! Braden Thayer with a spin move extends the Pioneer lead to 6.
Jalen Edwards, deep up top. Finds Coombs in the corner. I believe that was just inside the 3. Jack Glazier finds Redeker, can't get up there, gets swarmed by Jayhawks. Edwards feeds it to Miranda in the far corner, off the front of the rim. Glazier recovers, feeds it over to Braden Thayer. Thayer with a long pass over to McClellan.
Oh, what a cut there.
Great toss. Long pass to Rodriguez.
Oh, what a block there by Glazier.
Boy, great coverage. 5 seconds left in the first quarter. They statistically low score, 8-4 right now. Delude with a 3-shot. Fed away, and that is it for the first quarter. Seems like the quarter just started. I wonder whose fault that is.
No, it couldn't.
It's me.
She just wanted to let you know.
No, it's me.
Oh, it's you?
Tyler, get it together.
Oh. Tyler, thanks you.
No, after 8 minutes of play, Pioneer leading by 4, 8-4. Very defensive game, or just feel like the teams are getting more of a feel of kind of a fresh, neutral court. Alex, what are you thinking?
I think it's a cooking show right now. They're taste testing each other and seeing how this game is going to go. Right now, it's been a very defensive game. So far, each team has had good looks, just haven't connected. Probably because, like I said, they're taste testing the environment and all that. So expect some buckets to fall here in the second quarter. But Pioneer, though, has had excellent defense all game. But their offense has to get going if they want to secure a big lead over Duggan.
Rodriguez puts it inside of the Lude, back out to Rodriguez. Drives it in, decides to go for the jump shot and gets 2.
Good shot there by Rodriguez there. Little fadeaway there and got it to go.
And you know, he gave a look like he was gonna feed it out, but decided he had the room and, you know, made the right choice and took the shot.
Oh, wow.
Redeker puts it in, another 2.
Miscommunication there on Duggan's defense there. Left Redeker wide open there in the paint.
Well, at this rate, before halftime, you know, hopefully somebody brought down the balloons they had set up at Messer Gymnasium last game. Yes, and off of the shoe. Good attention to the game by the refs. Ball rolled out of bounds off the shoe of one of the Duggan Academy players. Jack Glazier. McClellan to Redeker, tries to drive it in, couldn't get the angle right, ball fed back outside, just inside the 3. Will Glazier, no good. Pioneer hangs on to it. Alex McClellan, pretty open inside the paint, but it's fed around. Jack Glazier, double teamed in the corner. Braden Thayer drives in, puts it up, and gets the 2.
I don't know how that happened, Tyler. Jack was there in the corner, but he remained patient and found the cut in Thayer open there for the layup.
And, you know, that was a beautiful job of noticing the double team trouble that Pioneer was, or that Jack Glazier was in the middle of, and Braden Thayer made a move that opened him up. From the corner, Alex McClellan rolled in and decided no.
That was a good look, though. Pioneer's got to keep taking those open looks. They're going to fall eventually.
Oh, if Pioneer, something that we've talked about ad nauseum, all the games that BNC TV's been covering, is that Pioneer Rodriguez left open down low, but gets his own rebound, and definitely with an offensive foul, Rodriguez caught throwing elbows.
What a missed opportunity there for Duggan. He was wide open in the paint, just couldn't connect. The pressure was too much for him, and everybody misses those time and time. But this is the worst time he could have missed it.
Well, it's a tough thing. You know, he has a right to make room in there, but extending that arm out is going to get you into trouble. Redeker going up for the jump shot inside the paint, no good.
It's going to be an over-the-back foul there on Pioneer. It's going to be Duggan's basketball the other way.
And Edwards looking for Nate Velek. Sorry, Velquez, I believe. Sorry, didn't get pronunciations. If I messed that up, I apologize to anyone from Duggan Academy that's tuning in. Redeker to Werner. McClellan from the top. Puts it away.
that was a good shot there by McClellan, left wide open. He shot it with confidence and drained it. Nothing but net.
Well, those are the kind of open spaces you can't leave Pioneer in because they'll take advantage every time. Rodriguez with a nice shot, but no good. McClellan comes out with it. Bounce pass to Werner. Ball goes in. And a timeout is called by Duggan Academy.
Pioneer's offense is on a roll right now, Tyler. Right there, they took advantage of the 2-on-2 fast break. Warner ran his lane and had a wide open layup.
Well, there's still a lot of basketball to happen here, Alex, but it seems like, the thing that we talk about is Pioneer at home tends to have that easy chair with the butt groove in it. And once they sit into it, they just cannot be stopped. And it looks like they're starting to find that groove. They're starting to come together. They're seeing what works, and they're just getting warmed up. And, with this momentum, it's going to be hard for the Jayhawks to stop them. But, there's still so much basketball left, and things can turn on a dime.
I mean, we literally saw the last time these two played each other, Duggan blew an 11-1 lead beginning out the game. Duggan had all the momentum at that point, and Pioneer completely flipped the script. As Pioneer went on that run, as we talked about, the same thing can happen for Duggan, but they got to lock in now, get a few stops to the defensive end, and get some buckets, at least just one or two, and make this a single-digit lead going into the half. They got to play one possession at a time, Tyler.
No, I couldn't agree more, Alex. Edwards taking it out. With a Miranda. Into Dulude, finds a lane, goes up. And that ball, I don't think could have gone in more without being counted.
Yeah, Dulude had a good game. Last time these two teams played, I'm not sure why Duggan hasn't gone to him in this game. You got to question if they'll start going to him, as that was one of their best looks they've had all day. Too bad it didn't go through.
Braden Thayer inside the paint with the jump shot. Gets his own rebound, goes up around backwards and gets the two.
Yeah, they are so patient there. Found the opening and needle through the defense there.
The way Thayer follows up on his shots, I'm not surprised he doesn't jump through the hoop and down the net himself. Edwards takes it back up top to reset. Rodriguez finds Coombs. Then Miranda with a fading jump shot.
They're gonna need a...
And then Whitaker gets the foul and the two.
Whitaker too strong on that play. Just muscles through the defense and converts the and one. Duggan can't have that to happen.
And that is the 1,000 points now for Rediker. Which I guess in tournament play can't really pause and have a celebration. But congratulations to Rediker. Oh, ball comes loose. The Jayhawks hang on to it in the corner. Rediker tight on him.
Gonna be a reaching foul there on Rediker. Gonna remain Duggan basketball. But yeah, back to what I was saying, Tyler. That's what cannot happen for Duggan. They can't allow fast break opportunities after scoring a basket.
Ball stolen away on a pass. Alex McClellan goes up and gets the easy two.
Like what I was just saying, Tyler. They can't let that happen. Their defense got to sprint back on every play and make sure Pioneer doesn't have any easy opportunities like they did right there.
And you know, it's interesting, which I'll talk about in just a moment. It's like a holding foul. It'll be Pioneers right at half court. And you know, it's interesting. I think that there is kind of a little bit of momentum when it comes to, you know, wanting another crack or vengeance, if you will. Jack Glazer, beautiful shot. But you know, the Jayhawks want vengeance for the regular season game. Pioneer wants vengeance for last year's Western Mass tournament game. So, it's, you know, hate the cliche, but it's going to come down to who wants it more.
Yeah, Pioneer just looks like the hungrier team right now.
Beautiful, beautiful press. Nothing's going to stop Jack Glazer when he's in there like that.
Yeah, we're just seeing the Pioneer offense completely unstoppable, and Duggan doesn't know how to defend it. Pioneer is winning this game on all cylinders right now, Tyler. Everything's looking good so far. Coach Thayer should be happy right now.
And a good two by, I think that was Miranda. Oh, sorry, Coombs. Redeker drives it in, feeds it to the outside. Nice fake, and then shot by Brady Thayer.
Don't want to leave him that wide open. Bad jump there. Cause Thayer to have an easy three-pointer as he sinks it.
Isaiah Rodriguez drives in and gets two. Nice job.
Duggan's got to get a stop here. They're scoring a lot better right now, but can't defend the Pioneer offense. They can't win a marathon against this team.
5 seconds on the clock, sorry. No shot, but he'll get the foul. Sorry about that, Alex.
You're good, Tyler.
Braden Thayer will get two. And you know, one thing to discuss is, you know, the game that the Duggan Jayhawks had to play to get to this game. They took on Hoosick Valley, who was number 3 in the bracket. And a jump ball is called with no time, so that will just be the end of the first half. Pioneer with a 18-point lead over the Jayhawks. But one thing I was saying, to get into this game, they had to play Hoosick Valley, and that was an 83-70 game. And when you look at a score like 83-70 in high school basketball, it starts to make you wonder about, you know, what the defense was like during that game. Wasn't there, didn't see it, but just based on paper, makes you kind of ask yourselves, you know, the teams just did an incredible job on the offense, but couldn't stop each other on the defense. Those kind of scores, and so it makes you think to yourself, you know, what is that being brought here to this game? Is Duggan having a little bit of trouble on the defense, and Pioneer, who statistically is a better team than Hoosick Valley, you know, is that going to be all the more difficult for the Jayhawks to defend against a team like Pioneer?
I mean, of course it is, Tyler. As we saw their last game for Pioneer on Wednesday, they beat Smith Academy 61-23. That is absolutely insane, holding a high school basketball team to only 23 points. in 32 minutes of play. There were more minutes than Smith Academy scored points. So Pioneer has been elite defensively all year long, not just last game. Pioneer right now is doing an outstanding job holding this elite Duggan team to only 14 points. A lot to look forward to into halftime, but the game is far from over, Tyler. 16 minutes still left at play. Anything can happen. Duggan, I'm sure, is going to talk over what went wrong in the halftime and expect them to come out hungrier and look a lot better here in the second half.
Well, it is definitely far from over. 16 minutes is an eternity in basketball time. But we will see what happens. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, more of this Western Mass Class D tournament game. John J. Duggan Jayhawks versus the Pioneer Panthers. Don't go away. More basketball coming back in a minute. All right, welcome back, folks. Another 16 minutes of exciting Class D tournament basketball. Boys varsity, Pioneer Panthers, Duggan Academy Jayhawks. Just about to get started, and you know, Alex, this being able to bring broadcasts like this to fine folks, whether you're watching it on the BNC TV YouTube channel, stolen away. Beautiful toss up the back, gets two.
Yeah, Duggan's gonna need more of that, forcing turnovers and getting open looks on the other end, sort of what Pioneer did in the first half.
Redeker back outside to Ben Werner. Rolls off the hoop. Redeker receives it, but stolen away by Edwards. Comes up short, but Jayhawks hang on to it. Edwards with the ball over to Rodriguez. And then Duluth left open and gets the two.
So far, Duggan's having a good second half, 4-0 run.
Well, you know, and it's a difficult thing. If you're doing well in the first half and you go into halftime, it's hard to shake off that, you know, that good feeling of like, you know, we're doing all right, and you don't want to find yourself slacking. So if Pioneer doesn't turn this around real quick, I think Coach there is going to call a timeout, giving them a stern talking to. They're going to have to make something happen. Great defense there by the Jayhawks. Really shaking up Pioneer.
Tyler, as the famous saying is, it's hard to get to the top, but it's harder to remain at the top. And Pioneer is going through that struggle right now. Right now, they're struggling with the lead as Duggan's looking like the more hungrier team, as we kind of predicted going into the second half. Pioneer's got to try and steal this game away from them and extend this lead as far as possible.
And you know, so far, the beginning of this third quarter looks worrisome, but at the same time, Pioneer is number one in Western Mass and the state for a reason. I think it's because of their ability to pivot, their ability to adjust with what they see as working and not working. When something starts to work against them, they pivot to find a way to bring it back. And another great defense there.
A little too close there, Tyler. A little too close.
Well, we had back-to-back defenses causing the shot clock to run out.
Going to be a pushing foul here on Duggan. Braden Thayer was going off the screen there, and he tried going through the screen there. He can't hit the player like that. Going to be a foul called on him.
Finds Redeker in the corner. Redeker drives, gives it back out to McClellan for three.
Beautiful driving kick there, Tyler. Redeker went inside, attracted the defense on him, left McClellan wide open, kicked it to him, and he shot it with confidence.
Well, Pioneer does a great job of that. Off the front of the rim, recovered by Braden Thayer. McClellan goes up, and he will get the foul.
Yeah, that was a nice move there by McClellan. Faked the pass to Warner and went up against the contact, which created the foul.
And, you know, before all of this chaotic incitement came through, one thing I started off saying is, wanted to thank our viewers, whether you're tuning in to watch folks watch the Jayhawks, or you're tuning in from the Bernardston-Northfield area on the live stream, on the channel. Thank you for being with us. Happy to bring this to you. And you know, this wouldn't be possible if not in part by our sponsors. Sam Browning Jr. Trucking, and Greenfield Cooperative Bank. Thank you so much for your sponsorship and bringing these programs to you. Great move by the Jayhawks. No call a timeout after putting up a quick 2.
I mean, yeah, this is what we saw in the Smith Academy game. Pioneer came a little sluggish out of the half. Same thing happening in this game. The boys got to regroup and get back on their roll here.
Well, and they did that a little bit. We were a little bit concerned with how we were seeing, you know, the Jayhawks were putting points up on the board. Pioneer hadn't put anything in the second half, and then, you know, very soon they kind of settled into their routine. They got back into what was working in the first half, and I think that Pioneer is kind of, you know, shaking off that break, so to speak, and I think they're back in that groove.
Pioneer's got to find a rhythm on the defensive end. So far, we've seen too many open looks at the paint. Pioneer's got to block off the paint and make them take difficult shots like we saw in the first half. Too many open looks. Pioneer defense got to be better.
No, I couldn't agree more, Alex. They definitely seemed like they were holding the Jayhawks to resorting to less than ideal shots, we'll say, during the first half. And, you know, that shows the signs of a really good defense. There with Maria's tightly on him. Redeker looking to drive in, hands it over to Werner. Werner drives in but gives it back out to McClellan. Some great aggressive defense here by the Jayhawks. Gives the ball over to Ben Werner. Boy, Werner, I think that was one of those situations where the excitement might have gotten the better of Werner. He had a fraction of a second, the ball fed over to him, and I think he just started moving before the ball really got there and tightly in his hands.
Yeah, Werner overthought it there. Should have shot the open layup he had, but saw two guys running full speed at him and got scared. You always just got to shoot it with confidence, like Coach Thayer always says.
Oh, beautiful move by the Jayhawks.
What a pass there. Went behind his head there and had a wide open layup there. What a beautiful dish.
Redeker underneath, gets his own rebound. Feeds it over to Thayer, can't get it down. Just got some ferocious Jayhawk defense, really trying to turn this game around. And no shots. Rodriguez to inbound. Rodriguez with a deep three, goes up short. McClellan hands it over to Ben Werner, who goes up, but he gets the foul.
That was a block there. Went out of bounds, gonna be Pioneer's ball underneath the hoop.
My apologies.
Close, it was close, but looked like he got all ball there.
Well, very great job by Dulude,
I wish
being
it was
very
a foul.
precise on that.
Wish it was a foul, but.
There, goes inside the paint. Looks like a push on Pioneer. Edwards bringing the ball down. Miranda swinging it around to Rodriguez. Back up top to Coombs. Coombs drives in, tries to give it a toss. Rodriguez getting the inbound. Aggressive full court defense by the Jayhawks. Pioneer is going to need to step up their inbounding.
Yeah, like I said the last game, these two played each other. We saw a lot of turnovers before Pioneer reached the half-court line. They limited it a lot the first half, but so far this half, Pioneers had a lot of turnovers, and that's why Duggan has been capitalizing and scoring here.
Redeker to Werner, to McClellan in the corner. The ball comes loose, looks like a foul on the Jayhawks, so Pioneer on the baseline.
The Duggan fans were ready to explode there with the lockdown defense they were just imposing there on that play.
Well, it's hard to see a hard-fought battle. 3 from the corner. McClellan puts it away.
That's the lucky spot, Tyler. That right corner 3 there.
Rodriguez. Delude. To Edwards. Now Rodriguez thought about it from the free throw line, puts it back out to Edwards. Goes under the baseline and tosses it up for 2.
Yeah, what a reverse layup there by Jalen Edwards. Went by the defense there, found the open look, and executed.
Will Glazier from outside. No good. Coombs.
Going to be a charging foul there on Duggan. Way to take the charge there, Mr. Redeker.
Redeker will bring it down. Ball comes loose. And Redeker hangs on to it. It looks like a little too much contact by Miranda.
Pioneer is now in the bonus now, going to shoot 2 shots here.
Oh, 50 seconds left until that bonus resets. This kind of advantage might be exactly what Pioneer needs.
Yeah, I didn't like that foul there. Redeker, not the best shooter on the court, was all the way towards that blue line we see right there, not in the shooting, scoring distance. I don't like that foul at all, Tyler. Bad decision there by the Duggan defense.
Well, the ball came loose. They really wanted to make it happen, and you know, when you're charging after the ball, it's kind of hard to, you know, keep yourself precise to go after the ball and not the person. Ugh. Jack Glazer scoops it out to Rodriguez. Accidentally, of course.
Luckily, the Pioneer defense got back here.
Delude up top to Edwards. Shot no good. Glazier hands it over to Thayer. There'll be no shot clock with 25 seconds left. Ball comes loose. Edwards will take off. Looks to give it over to Delude. Some confusion on that. Almost no time. Thayer goes up for 2 and puts it down. 3 seconds left.
I don't know what just happened, Tyler, but Pioneer executed and got the easy 2. Way to go out of the third quarter here for Pioneer, as they now have a 15-point lead entering the fourth quarter.
Well, it was a tough situation. I want to dial it back to that steal that Edwards had. Edwards drove up. He was double teamed, made a decision to feed the ball over to Delude. It seems like, you know, they just so happen to not see each other at the right time, because when Edwards gave the ball over to Delude, I don't think he was expecting the ball, and that caused the turnover. Otherwise, I don't think Pioneer would have been able to put 2 on the board right before the buzzer.
Yeah, the player there for Duggan, he should have just went up for the layup there. Either go into the contact and create the foul, or take his time like we've seen Pioneer many times, jump stop and take the jump shot right next to the hoop there.
Come on, guys, be strong.
Well, it would have been an interesting situation, you know, being double teamed like that is a tall order. Duggan in and bound. Miranda driving through. Ball comes loose. Some full aggressive defense is exactly what Duggan needs. There, drives in, floats the ball up, gets his own rebound. Ball comes back outside to Will Glazier. Now Thayer with heavy defense. Nice give and go inside the paint, floating. No good. Rodriguez, long pass to Miranda, to Edwards, up for two. That was beautiful ball movement by the Jayhawks.
Yeah, I love that transition offense there. Had a 2-on-1 fast break there and got it to go. They're gonna need a lot of those plays, Tyler, though. Only 7 minutes left. They gotta get their offense going.
Will Glazier with a three. Oh, that ball, very belligerent, did not want to go down. Rodriguez in the corner, drives along the baseline and puts it up for two.
Duggan regaining some momentum here, Tyler. It's not game over. Only 11-point game here with 6:40 left.
No, it is not. It has been a tight game. This, you know, a few unanswered baskets. You know, you get some of that bad juju down going. This game could flip. But 6.5 minutes. We'll see what happens. I think that this timeout was necessary for both teams.
But yeah, you got to give Duggan all the credit in the world. They played amazing defense so far this quarter. Their offense has looked outstanding. They got to keep riding this momentum, though. Don't stop. Just keep thinking one possession at a time. The 11-point lead is going to seem overwhelming, so you got to chop it down little by little. Think of one score, and then the next score, and then the next score. Can't be overwhelmed with 11-point lead, Tyler. They got to think one possession at a time.
No, you're totally right, Alex. And, you know, they came out of the half knowing they needed to make adjustments, and I think they have, especially on the defense. Redeker up top. Tight D by Coombs. Redeker thought about a lane. Redeker getting double teamed over near the bench. Very aggressive double team, and it looks like it'll be a turnover. Or no, a timeout is called. But it is still, was it a jump call?
No,
I didn't see a foul call, so either he stepped out of bounds or it was a jump. Right, but the ball, he's, oh, okay. He's pointing at the timeout. My bad. Okay. Excuse me. Just collecting on the hand signals.
I thought Thayer traveled there, possibly.
It's uncomfortable
really
how
cool.
quiet it is in here, and we have to talk. But no, for sure. Trying to collect what happened. I think I was misunderstanding the referee pointing in the direction of who called the timeout, not who had possession. Yeah. And that's where I was getting lost in that.
Yeah, no, I was thinking the same way as you. I thought they called a turnover there on Thayer, but it's going to be Pioneer basketball still.
Very, you know, smart call by Coach Thayer. Saw Thayer, saw Braden Thayer in trouble. Yeah, his dad. Saw Braden Thayer having a difficult time in there, and that's when you want to call timeout. You don't want the turnover. Smart coaching. Ball moved around, Kurt Redeker. Ball pops loose, but he hangs on to it. Feeds it over to Alex McCullen just inside the 3. Puts it down! Just as the shot clock runs out.
I'm speechless, Tyler. That play couldn't have gone any better there for Pioneer. Had an open 3 with 1 second left, and just shot it up and ended up making it.
Well executed by Pioneer. Coombs in the corner. It looks like a step out of bounds. Which is tough when you're in the corner because you're not thinking about your back foot that you're trying to push off from. Jack Glazier finds a lane, goes up, swatted away by Dulude. Passes it to Miranda, doesn't get the shot, but he'll get the foul. Full court press now. Miranda tight on Alex McClellan. And it looks like an off-ball foul on Duggan Academy. Redeker looks to drive in, gives it back out to Will Glazier with a 3 shot. Goes in and out. And good ball movement by the Jayhawks, put it up for 2.
Yeah, Duggan right now only down 11. They got to get a few stops here.
Jack Glazier with a beautiful 3-point shot.
Can't allow any open opportunities like that one. Duggan's got to get better defensively.
Rodriguez with a 3 shot. Makes a tough bounce off the rim, recovered by Pioneer. Redeker to McClellan.
Looked like the defense took a step right as Thayer did. They collided, and it's going to be a foul card on the defender.
It's got to be a real interesting art to be aware of the defensive movement, and then you make a move knowing it'll be counted against the defense.
Yeah, that's
because I don't think Thayer actually wanted to drive in there. I think he knew that he would get the foul if he did.
Great awareness there by Braden Thayer.
Goes up. Foul and 2.
I don't know how Thayer did that. When somehow faded backwards over the trees and somehow got the and 1 to go.
Oh, and number 3 for Duggan.
Alan Miranda there.
Miranda is out with maximum number of fouls. Arguably the best player just on paper.
Has scored 1,000 points already as a sophomore, I believe. Excellent player. Too bad Duggan's not going to have him in the last 4 minutes. They really need him here.
Well, he is arguably and statistically, probably Duggan's best player. However, I feel as though he has been the target to eliminate for Pioneer. And so far, we've seen Duggan do a great job of other players like Edwards, Coombs, Delude, Rodriguez really stepping up and putting points on the board.
Yeah, that's a good point, Tyler. They've really made Miranda the focal point of their offense, so Pioneer knew if they got him out of the offense, the Duggan offense would struggle, as we've seen.
And great defense by Duggan. It'll be their ball on the baseline.
Going to be a reach-in foul on Redeker. Going to be Duggan basketball the other way.
However, we are just talking about points and shooting here. Alan Miranda does bring an enormous amount on the defense too. We see him play a lot of aggressive defense up top for whoever's got the ball. So, you know, I think we're both right. Other players have stepped up on offense, but his defense is going to be real crucially missed. Braden Thayer outside the three to McClellan. Oh, and a tough slap. Arguable contact, but Rodriguez puts it up and gets two.
Looks like Duggan got away with no foul call there, but easy layup on the other end. It's going to be a 15-point game.
I think there was definitely an argument. And not sure if our audio picked it up, but you could definitely hear a slap noise on that steal. But, you know, it's the ref's call. But the Jayhawks have 2 minutes and 44 seconds. Let the clock run to that. 2 minutes and 44 seconds to make a big 15-point run. Pioneer, with a 15-point lead, they have time on their side. And so taking advantage of any opportunity to move the ball around, really eat away at the clock, might be their strategy for the next 2.5 minutes. Braden Thayer to Glazier. Finds Jack underneath. Jack knew he really wanted that one. He was wide open for it. Great pass, just couldn't get the grab.
Yeah, it's all right though. Got to clamp up on defense here and close this game out.
And you know, I can't imagine what it's like to be excited knowing you have a good, wow, great move there by Edwards.
Yeah, that was a circle layup there. Went up and under the defenders. Great move there by Jalen Edwards. Having a great game so far, now in double digits.
Jack Glazier sends it over to Redeker for a three-point shot and puts it away.
I don't want to jinx it, Tyler, but I think that may have been the dagger.
Well, we will see. We will see. Not sure where we're at for personal fouls on Pioneer's end. Ball comes loose. Rodriguez feeds the ball over to Coombs. Coombs with a great move and gets two. Saw McClellan coming and moved accordingly. Great awareness. Redeker double teamed. It looks like a foul is called. Big pass to Redeker, who's left open. Goes up from behind. Gets 2.
Great pass there by Alice McClellan. Saw Redeker wide open right next to the hoop. Gave it to him and let him cook.
Well, there's still plenty of time for more than one possession. And a foul is called. Let the clock catch up to 39 seconds.
Duggan foul on number 2, Kyle Combs, his 5th personal foul. Checking in for the Jayhawks.
Pioneer now in the bonus. Sorry, I let the clock run too much. 30 seconds left, no shot clock. Redeker will run the clock out. And that is it.
All teams will please return to the bench after the handshake by the site director. The trophy presentation.
And now we are looking at, Alex, Western Mass champs 2025, Pioneer Panthers, coming away with a 57-39 win over the Duggan Academy Jayhawks. Hard-fought battle. It's a very close game early on. Pioneer continued to work, fell into their groove, and just took off from there.
Yeah, Pioneer played an amazing game tonight. Looked outstanding throughout the whole game. Sure, they had a bad first quarter, Tyler, but they maintained the lead throughout the whole game. Played it their tempo the whole time, like they have been all season long. And that's why they are Western Mass champions, as they're a lead on both ends of the court and couldn't ask for a better night here for the Panthers.
And you know what, Pioneer, it's also important to note, Pioneer is also, in your part of that, Alex, Western Mass Class D soccer champions as well.
Yeah.
So Pioneer just having...
Talking about soccer?
So having a fantastic fall and winter Western Mass tournament, a well-deserved, fantastic. You know, they earned it. They work hard. You know, they come out to play every game, and they've shown why they've gone undefeated thus far.
Pioneer has just been the hungrier team all season long. I think the team knew that the goal was to win a Western Mass championship. They set their minds to that goal, persevered, kept going, and now here they are, Western Mass champions, Tyler. Third time in school history being Western Mass champions for boys basketball.
And that is fantastic. I mean, the last time they were champions was 2 years ago down at Westfield High School, taking away the win against Hopkins Academy.
And of course, they won it in 2018 as well.
Yep.
3 times in 8 years. 3 times in 8 years.
Yeah, and we've had, there's been a great run going on with Coach Thayer. He's worked hard with these kids. These kids have worked hard. And, they've, I can't say much more than, they've earned this victory. We saw it on the court. They haven't come away with a win because they got lucky or players were out sick or anything like that. They came out, they played hard, and they turned out to be the better team. And, Duggan was understandably the second best team in the league. They were rated second. They would have had a perfect record if not for the match against Pioneer during the season. So it just, you knew it was going to come down to this game again. These two teams wanted to match each other.
I guess Pioneer is their kryptonite. The only 2 losses they've had all season long has been to Pioneer.
Oh, and Pioneer's got 6 seniors. When we were talking about Alan Miranda, great player for Duggan Academy. You mentioned he's a sophomore, so he's still got a couple more years. There's a number of kids that have a few more years that played great aggressive ball out here. And so, Duggan being the younger team, they're going to come back and, I think that they're going to see this tournament next year for sure.
Yep.
But, and we'll see what happens that. So, Alex, that is it for Western Mass. Do you have any stats that you wanted to go over?
Yeah, so for Pioneer, the leading scorers were Braden Thayer with 17 points, leading Pioneer to the Western Mass, but it wasn't only him, Tyler. Alex McClellan had 16, followed by Rediker's 11, Jack Lazier's 8, and Ben Warner's crucial 5 points in the first half. Great all-around game for the Panthers, and not only were they good offensively, they locked up a great Duggan team to only 39 points, by far their season low, I'm guessing, of the season, or at least close to it, I would assume. Great overall game for Pioneer, and that's why they won 56-39, Tyler.
Well, if we look back at some of Duggan's points, they've got a couple of games where they're sitting at triple digits. There's a few games where they've come away with wins that were fairly low, but not as low as this. I don't think that they've ever had a lower scoring game this season.
Their 2 lowest games were against Pioneer.
Oh, yep, and that's why sometimes you don't want to believe things on paper, but I think that, according to all the stats, they're pointing to a very, very accurate game. Pioneer just came to play. They come to play every game this season, and Duggan knew it was going to be a tough battle, and they held on really good. I don't think it got much more than an 11-point lead the entire game. So they definitely kept it fairly tight throughout the game. It could have been a little bit more, but nothing really felt like a runaway until the end.
Yeah, Pioneer almost had a 20-point lead at one point, but Duggan kind of made it interesting there in the third quarter, but couldn't kept up with Pioneer as Pioneer slowed the game down in the fourth quarter and stole the game away from them.
Well, this might be it for us here in Western Mass Class D tournament at Holyoke Community College. Thank you for hosting this game. But that is not it for basketball. There is still MIAA Division 5 state tournament coming up. And it's my understanding that bracket will be released later on tonight or just this weekend, and we'll find out what's what with that. I do know with Pioneer being ranked #1 in the state, that means other than the neutral territories, they should be having home games all the way through. So that's round of 32, 16, and 8. So first 3 games are going to be at home. And that's, of course, if they win each one.
I don't think Pioneer boys basketball has ever won the state championship, have they?
I am not sure. I'd have to go back and look at the banners. I keep talking about this. Maybe I'll do it over the weekend. I really want to dig up some stats, find out if a team has ever had a perfect season. I want to find out if Pioneers ever had a perfect season.
Well, now they have.
Now they have. Right. But, you know, just like any true commentator, you want to say the first, you know, of something. And as I always say, if you're specific enough, everyone is the first. So with that, Alex, thank you so much for coming down here and doing this game, bringing the analysis, the stats. Really appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thank you. It was a wonderful game, Tyler. Saw a lot of good moments here, and Pioneer, an excellent team, came away with a victory.
Absolutely, and that is us for us here, and we will see you next time.